What is up, everybody? The Black Line crew is here. I'm your host, Matthew McKim. Welcome to another episode of the Black Line Brief. We're going to have a good night tonight. Look, I wanted to start out first by thank you guys for showing up. And please, as you come in, please hit the like. And if you're new, hit the subscribe. It is the best way to help this channel. Yeah, it's one of those things you gotta say those things. You just got to do that, or else the channel will cease to exist and won't be here anymore. But I think we're onto something in this community. And speaking about that, I wanted to just take a moment to talk directly to you guys. I hope you guys understand I'm not trying to be Candace, and I'm not trying to be Baron. I'm not trying to be Coach. I'm not trying to be like anyone else. I have different giftings. I have different skills. And as of right now, well, the crew is growing. I think we could now say it's like a 4-person crew. But, and I'm not making excuses. I'm just telling you like it is, right? As of right now, this isn't my full-time job. I don't have the capability to put in the kind of time that Baron and Candace and really, I think those are the two that do the most like investigative work. I know that Wolves in Finance does as well, but he's his own cat. You know, he's doing a lot of financial investigation, which he's a CPA. So, that's up his alley. But my point is this, a lot of times when I'm preparing for a show, I'm preparing like multiple things at the same time to kind of see what ends up working out with the time, with the day and everything like that. Today was a curveball. Candace didn't go live today. I was hoping to find out new things about Erika from her show today. I think we were all disappointed. I kept refreshing my screen. I went to her channel and I was like, what is going on? And then I figured, she must not be going live today. And then, other people sent me things and yeah, it's set for Wednesday. I can't wait. Baron did have a good show as well. But yeah, so all right. So what we're going to look into today is just some of my personal thoughts. And one of the things how I started the show is like looking back at people at TPUSA, Erika Kirks and others and things they've said and things they've done and really kind of analyzing them. And I got some videos to pull up. I also have some new videos that I think people haven't seen. They're not as tantalizing, but still, I have a video of Erika Kirks that most people haven't seen. I found it shoved in the middle of a 4-hour show. And also looking at the Make Heaven Crowded tour, she's not doing public events anymore. And then if you look at what Baron talked about tonight with her Bible 360 app thing and how they've changed things, and if she's on there, they make it private and only certain people get to see it. It's like they're limiting our access to things Erika says and does on camera. Okay. But I found something, we can look at it. But yeah, okay. I lost my train of thought. That happens. I apologize. My mind goes one way and I lose it. It'll come back and I'll let you guys know. All right. But first, okay, finishing my thought. That's right. To me, it strikes me why Erika? Why so quick, so soon, put Erika in this role? Let me see. I kind of wrote something. I don't want to read it verbatim, but let me see what I can do with this, okay? Okay, to me, it is clear that what they intended to do by moving Erika into Charlie's seat so quickly, in my opinion, I think they wanted to transfer our love, our support, our trust that Charlie had, that he had earned, directly onto her. Because, think about this, whoever was going to replace Charlie, say another guy, whoever, Andrew Colvett, Mikey McCoy, Ben Shapiro, they were flirting with a couple options by seeing how we responded to some of these people as they kind of shoved them out there, or even Cabot Phillips. But whoever replaced Charlie should have had to earn what Charlie earned. from the moment he stepped onto the scene in 2012 until the moment he was stolen from us last year in 2025. Charlie earned everything. He earned our respect. He earned our trust. He earned our love. And he for sure earned our support. And anyone stepping into that role should have had to start from scratch and earn everything as well. But by doing that, starting from scratch, because we didn't know any of these individuals, including Erika, but we certainly didn't really know Andrew Colvett, Mikey McCoy, and all of them. They became famous because of Charlie's assassination. But they would have almost certainly would have lost much of the following Charlie had built over the years because of how unique, because we followed Charlie. And we did believe in Charlie and the beliefs that he stood for. But by presenting his doting, loving, Christian, supportive, grieving widow, they bypassed that process. The normal course of earning the trust and credibility was hijacked. They leapfrogged by forcing Erika Kirk on all of us because she's an extension of her husband. We didn't know her yet. We would naturally assume Erika Kirk, same last name, mother of his children, bride, wife, would hold the same beliefs, would hold the same ethics and morals and principles. And I think we just naturally assumed she would follow his legacy with the direction he wanted it to go. Yep. And like I said, most of us had never heard of Erika before her first speech. She has not had to earn our trust. She has not earned our support or our love. It was all, well, initially, I think a lot of us just transferred our love, our support from Charlie to her until we started to get to know Erika. But because it happened so quickly, because it was all so fast right after, we didn't really know anything else but to accept what was being forced on us. And I don't think this was by accident at all. I think this is why the board moved so quickly, why so many on this side of TPUSA and the supporting like conglomerate, Ben Shapiro and all of them, were all in a united agreement that Erika Kirk was the one that should take over. And that, in fact, Charlie said so. It was his dying wish. So to me, it is clear, among other reasons, but this one particular, why they chose her. And the other reasons are obvious. Her unwavering support for Philadelphia, and I'll explain why I'm going to switch back to using code words. And it sucks, but I'll explain in a minute. Her unwavering support for Philadelphia, Trump, J.D. Vance, but also, to me, what I see is a desire for fame, power, control, and influence. Okay. Having said that, I'm going to show you some things. We're going to look at them. We're going to talk about it, all right? But the reason why, if you go look at my videos up until the last two, they did pretty good. They all did fairly the same views, likes, and engagement. But the last two, where I stopped, not limiting, but of course my brain can't think of the word. I was, oh my goodness, I can't believe I can't think of the word right now. Anyways, I'll just say limiting because my brain is just drawing a blank. I wasn't going to limit myself anymore and use these code words because if they can affect how we speak, I just was tired of it. But I want to be able to have a community and an influence to people that so desperately need it. That's how I felt in the wake of Charlie's assassination. The one person I felt a deep connection with, that I felt got us, that was speaking all the things that we were feeling and thinking, was stolen from us. And the people that they shoved in that position completely turned the other direction, hijacked his movement, his cause, his voice, his name, his show, his organization. And no longer did I feel we had that many people out there speaking for us. Thank goodness Candace is there and Barron is there, and there are others as well. But the last thing I want to do is lose the ability to reach more people and help them feel the way that Charlie made me feel every day I watched and listened to him. And so we'll see. This will be a test run. We'll see how these videos do when I go back to saying Philly and Einstein and all of that stuff. Because I have trouble believing that those videos were just that bad. But we'll see. Okay. Let's look at what a lot of people were saying shortly after the assassination. But I think the one person, and I wrote it down somewhere else, that truly is Charlie's inheritance, so to speak, in his beliefs, his cause. Yes, Candace, but Tucker Carlson. To me, he seems to be one of the only conservative, not the only, but one of, especially as predominant and mainstream as he is, Christian conservative men that are literally sticking up for the things that Charlie, in my opinion, died for. And because of that, I think anytime he speaks, we should listen, because I think it's the only time we still get to hear Charlie.
Over his memory, who gets to own it, who gets to use it. While the rest of us were still reeling in shock, trying to figure out what happened, a ton of people appeared online, not just in this country, to tell you exactly what happened, exactly what it meant, and exactly what we should do next. And you can see why. With this level of emotion, rage, and grief in the air, it's pretty wise to leverage that much energy. It's almost like nuclear power. It can be used for good or bad. And a lot of people wanted to use it. There's no question about that. So they begin telling you, Charlie died for this, he lived for this, and he died for that. So the crazier reaches of the left, it was Charlie was a Nazi. And the lesson is Nazis get killed. It makes sense. He was a bad guy who got what he deserved. And a lot of them said that out loud. Certain parts of the right immediately told you that actually this was about something completely different. You know, Charlie died for Israel. Many began to say the prime minister of Israel said that, and so did a lot of other people. Charlie was a defender of Israel, which he was, by the way, and therefore...
I'm only pausing it for a second because the last thing I want to happen is to have our stream cut off again because I played Tucker uninterrupted. I still don't know what it was on that episode that made our stream get cut out, but what he said is very telling. It's obvious to him, and I think it's obvious to us that in the wake of Charlie's assassination, the pain, the grief, the anger is a powerful thing to hijack. And now that more time has passed, in my opinion, we can really see who actually hijacked it for their own reasons. And that's why I opened with what I opened with. And that's why we'll continue to look at certain individuals and what they were doing so fast, so quick. Barron pointed it out on his show that on the, on the 19th, and it must have been planned before then. So not even 8 days. So before the memorial, because the memorial was 11 days after, it was on the 21st. But on the 19th, she had planned to do that Bible 365 Q&A. I can't imagine. And in fact, I don't believe at all that a true grieving widow, even with the most strong faith in the world, would be, and remember the 5 days after video of the phone call. And then I think it was 8 days after. So the Zoom call with the audio and the video was 5 days after at work. And then the 8 days after was just the audio one that we heard before that. And then now that they were planning and moving so fast. At what point did she have time to be with her family, her kids, to truly grieve and deal with what just happened? None. She had no time. And it seemed that she didn't want any time, didn't need any time. Barron pointed it out, and I agree. That is not right. And we have every right to be asking, what does this mean? How can this be? What is wrong with this picture?
He died for that cause. But none of these explanations, all self-serving, are really satisfactory. They don't capture who Charlie Kirk was. And on some basic level, they're dishonest. Charlie was not a Nazi. He was not killed because he was a Nazi. Yes, he was a defender of Israel. He didn't die for Israel, however. Why did he die? What was his life about? What was the sin, the core sin that Charlie Kirk committed against somebody, power, that got him killed in the end? And the answer is right in front of us, certainly those of us who knew him. Charlie's life was defined by his Christian faith, not his spiritual.
And this was early on. I think if Tucker were to film this same segment again, especially after the Huckabee interview, and what Barron pointed out today, okay, that PragerU, Andrew Colvett, and all of them were finding a way to insert themselves into Charlie's life, and that all of them are very, very pro-Huckabee. And I wonder, all of us internet sleuths and private investigators out here, we should look into that statement that Andrew said, that Charlie had some sort of issue, some sort of challenge, something happened, and that because of that thing, whatever that thing is, then Charlie reached out to Andrew. I wonder if it is something similar to how Candace found out about the donor, that it was almost created so that she would find out, question him, he would feel very uncomfortable, and his natural knee-jerk reaction would be to lie because he knows Candace and that she would be disapproving of it. But I wonder if there was some manufactured issue that came about because, remember, he was dodging Andrew's calls. He wasn't calling Andrew back until there was this thing, whatever that thing is, and hopefully we find out. But because this incident, this challenge, this difficult thing that he was having in his life, he reached out to Andrew, and boom, the floodgates opened, and I mean, the rest is kind of history. A very sad history. All right, we're going to move on to here. Okay. We're going to be looking at how quickly certain people, all of them, and we do need to question the source in which this information is coming, especially now that we know, because Barron said, looking at the interview with Andrew, and I'm not going to replay it. I didn't have time to watch the whole thing. I'm not going to use Barron's clips with Andrew Colvett and that guy. Maybe we'll look back at it later, not tonight, but at another date. Once I actually have time to watch that whole thing, and I can clip things on my own and find points that I want to make. But that Andrew said, Andrew had planned a show, an interview for Charlie on that last day that Charlie was not happy about. He didn't want to do it. And I do believe they were keeping him extremely busy so that he wouldn't be on his phone, because you can't be on your phone when you're on air. He wouldn't be paying attention to where everyone was and where they weren't, like Erika and others. But this interview was with Ben Shapiro, okay? Supposedly his friend. That's what they shoved on us afterwards. Ben was his friend. Ben and him were close. Well, not by Andrew's own admission, but so many others. We can look back at Charlie's own stances on Philadelphia and on Ben and Prager and Daily Wire. But this interview was with Ben that he didn't want to do, and that Andrew forced him to do it, and that Charlie was clearly bothered that the fact that he had to do it, and asked some very poignant, direct questions that made Ben's eyebrows almost jump off of his forehead. But let's listen to many people, how they initially came out and said immediately what Charlie wanted, how great Erika is and was and will be, what a great godly Christian woman she is. And this is what I'm saying. They had to flood the zone and force this down our face. And because it was his wife, at first we didn't question. We didn't, we didn't know what to think. Okay, I guess. I mean, it is his wife, mother of his children. We don't really know who she is. All right, yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. Until we started looking at everything, watching her movement, her body language, the words, I mean, the choices, the actions, and then it all became suspect. That's when I started looking back at things that she and Charlie publicly said before, and how her stepping into this role completely contradicted all that. But let's take a listen to what Benji had to say.
The thing that blew everybody away, the moment that really, I think, shattered everyone, was Erika Kirks' speech. Now, I've only had the privilege of knowing Erika for a very short time. Actually, I only met her after Charlie was murdered.
So you don't actually know her. So you knew her for a short time. In fact, you only had the privilege of meeting her after his assassination. So you weren't very close with Charlie. I mean, you didn't even meet his wife. They were together during their dating and engagement, like all the time. Okay. But then what makes you so knowledgeable on who and what Erika is if the first time you met her is when we first met her, is after the assassination? What makes you capable to make this next statement? Nothing. Nothing. It's propaganda. It's nonsense. It's slop.
She's an amazing person. I mean, truly a strong, amazing person. One of the things that I found out is that when she gave the speech that she gave initially after Charlie's death, just a couple of days after his death, she actually did that live, which is unthinkable. To have to give a 16, 17-minute address direct into camera 2 days after watching your spouse be shot to death.
She didn't watch her spouse. Nice lie, bud. Way to weasel in a lie. Well, amongst every other lie you're telling, because it is unthinkable that literally days after finding out, well, okay, you know what? I wonder if he's slipping a bit. If she's in that plane, if they were broadcasting it all live, if she was on the ground, it might be possible she was watching. It actually might be possible that she watched him get assassinated. I won't rule that out. But from the official story, no. She was in Arizona with her mom at the hospital. She wasn't watching anything. And in fact, she didn't want to watch anything. She said, I won't watch that. I refuse to watch that, and I won't let my kids watch it. Okay. Why is Ben saying she saw it? Oh, sympathy. He's trying to get points for us to have sympathy for her, to accept all of this that he's saying. What a tragic thing it is to watch your partner assassinated. Yeah, it is. Well, if it were true, why was she watching it live? Then I don't think it is as sad the way you're saying it. It's sad that, in my opinion, if she did watch it from inside that plane on that tarmac, to me, that's indicative that she's part of it, in my opinion.
In front of the entire world with 2 young children at home, Erika is a force for sure. She, of course, has now been appointed as the new head of TPUSA. And the thing about Erika It's true of Charlie too, but Erika even more overtly, is that she is a woman who is deeply in touch with her faith. I mean, this is a woman.
You guys, do you catch the things that he's saying? So it was true of Charlie, but it's more true. It's more true about Erika, of just how deep her faith is. Sorry, I noticed that my lighting was really bright. I'm going to turn it down a bit. I was shiny. But Erika is just, like Mother Mary, just like all the other things that they wanted to say to us, that her faith is just so deep. That's what allowed her to get up on the stage and forgive that man. And then misquote the scripture. Forgive them, Father, for they not know what they do, for they know not what they do. Okay, that's like saying Proverbs 68:5. Right on.
Of faith at the deepest possible level. And that's really what she spoke about yesterday. It was incredibly moving. Truly one of the great speeches I think I've ever seen. She went for about half an hour.
Was it, guys? Hey, chat. Was it really one of the best speeches you've ever seen? No, not at all. I mean, one of the best speeches I've ever seen would have to be JFK. You're saying it's better than JFK? Wait, I know why Ben would say it's better than JFK's speech. Did you guys know what JFK was trying to do with Philly at the end? Why a lot of people are now speculating, and well, they've been speculating for years, but that Philly, above all people, had something to do with JFK being assassinated. Isn't it weird that JFK's assassination and Charlie Kirk's assassination have many, many, many things in common? One of which I think is the country, the people that carried it out. Just my opinion, folks.
An hour. And she spoke about what it means to be married, what the Bible calls us to do as husbands, as wives, what Charlie was trying to do by reaching out to young men. I mean, truly astonishing stuff. So she talked about in her speech, first of all, I mean, the audience was, it was so moving. I mean, the audience was.
You guys, is he selling it? Is he selling it for you? It's not selling it for me. I don't buy it. Don't buy it one bit. Nice try, Ben. Daddy can't buy your. Can't buy us. Man, my brain is wiped. I don't know why. I'm just losing words in my head today. All right, we're going to go here next because I think this is interesting. How quickly after. This is where they announce. Look at, you guys want to see the stark contrast between all these people? Okay, I'm not going to hate on Meghan on this one, all right? I think she's come a long way since saying that she would be gleeful on, she wanted to be there and watch Tyler Robinson be put to death. But I think, that whole Piers Morgan episode, I think definitely brought her back a lot. But look at old Blake Neff over here. Little puppy dog Neff. You're not a good actor, dude. These two aren't even trying to act. Mikey McCoy, Andrew Corvette, smiling, all smiles. Let's hear what they have to say.
And now there's a question about who's going to lead the team going forward and who's going to lead this enormously important organization. And I understand you have some news on that front.
Yeah. Since everything has happened, I think the number one question is what is going to happen with Turning Point? What is going to happen next?
Actually, I think the number one question is who killed Charlie? You guys, this is like, I don't know, like a couple days after, right? Because they announced it, 48 hours after the board just voted. It's like 48 or 72 hours when this decision was made. Can you guys tell me what your number one question was 2 days, 3 days after the assassination? Was it really who's going to take over? It wasn't mine. No. I was still like, what the heck? Valhalla, 33 hours. We found the guy, lone gunman. Oh, all of it was just like, whoa, I'm in the Twilight Zone. Like JFK all over again. Like, what's going on? No, my number one question was not who's taking over at all. I figured it would be a minute, pause, hit the pause button, you guys. Maybe not just try to tretch on. I think that would look weird. Oh, but that's what you guys decided to do. Okay.
And I'm pleased to be able to announce with you, and I think it's appropriate because of who you are and who this person is, that the Turning Point board has unanimously selected Erika Kirk as the new CEO and chair of the board. And not only is that amazing in and of itself, but I can assure you, Megan, that Charlie told me personally, and he told others, he probably told Mikey, that if anything ever happened to him, that this is exactly what he wanted.
Wow.
So this is the first time we hear that statement. Okay. And notice that he's appealing to himself and Mikey, all of the people that we don't trust and don't believe. So, I mean, great. Okay. Yeah. Charlie told you that. Well, go look at my videos. What did Charlie say himself about marriage, about wives, young Christian mothers with little children? His children are all under 4, 3.5, and 1.5. What did he say publicly? He felt the husband's role was to provide, and to provide very adequately. He had very strong words that you should provide so well that your wife, the mother of your children, never has to worry a day about money. Also, she needs to be frugal and be responsible and be a good Christian Proverbs woman and not just go spend it frivolously. But it's the husband's role to provide so that the wife doesn't worry and her whole focus is raising godly Christian children in the most important years of their lives. And she said, and so did Charlie, you can't do both. Balance is a myth. You can't put babies off till later and do your career first, because you know what? Biological clock is ticking. You have these prime years to do it when your body can actually do it. And then your career can come later when your kids are in high school or in college. That's what they both said. And we're supposed to believe that while he was facing all this persecution, death threats, he was afraid for his life, he was on the road 325 days a year, that he, in the midst of all this, was like, yes, I've seen the light. Oh, I changed my mind. I want her to take it all. It's nonsense. It's a lie, and none of us should be buying it. But right away, forcing this, right? This narrative, we got to move quickly. We got to hijack, like he said, like Tucker said, this energy, this grief, this pain. It's like nuclear power. We got to move fast while everyone is still reeling from this. And we got to put her in, because if we put this guy in or that guy, everyone's going to be like, no one would be able to fill his shoes ever. But we were going to give his wife a chance. That's what we did. We literally all gave her a chance. And then you guys know what happened. We've all been there. It's all been present and in the open. But a lot of people have fallen for it. Go watch the videos from the Make Heaven Crowded events, TPUSA events. There are people that cheer. I mean, look at the Frank Turek event where that kid was just asking questions and Frank tells him to shut up and yells at him. He asked to have one more question, and all the people in the seats, in the stands, whatever, like boo him, say no, and then they cheer his exit. So there are people that have bought this hook, line, and sinker. And it's just sad, in my opinion, that people have been led astray by this. Still to this day, the name is the same of the show, the email. They are just still riding the Charlie Kirk wave, man. And it's so tragic.
I have the chills. It had to be, right? I don't think anybody would accept a leader of the organization who they didn't feel completely understood Charlie and would.
Hello. That's what I'm saying. This was very thought out, you guys. This is very deliberate. It's also very evil.
Be 100% dedicated to fulfilling his vision. for where this group is going.
Well, and let me just add one more thing, and I want Mikey to chime in here as well. But in the immediate hours afterwards, Erika got a call from somebody very important. Leave that vague.
Why? Well, you can't say Trump. You can't say JD Vance. Or was it Bibi? I mean, would that be the only reason why he can't say who it is? We'll leave it at that. Was it Bibi? Was it, hey, you did a good job, Erika. You did your part. We tried. He turned the money down, but you're in there now. Here's the money. Full steam ahead.
Out of privacy, but she got a call from somebody very important. And the question was, what do you know? Sort of ask.
Okay, that is actually, holy smokes. That's fascinating. Trump, I don't think would ask that question. JD Vance, I don't think would ask that question. Because what would they be referring to? I mean, what? Who could that be, guys? Who could be asking Erika what she knows? Could it be Bibi? I mean, let's think. Who else could it be? No, I think that's who it could be. A very prominent figure that Andrew doesn't want to name, that called so quickly after to find out, what do you know? Yeah. I think there's only one possibility there.
How much of what's going on behind the scenes and with the relationship, like, what do you know? And her reply back was, everything.
Oh,
I know everything.
that's good.
Oh, Megan. Oh, Megan. This is not going to age well, Megyn Kelly. It's not good. It's weird. And it's another lie. Why are you eating this up? Like it's just slop and you're just at a smorgasbord buffet. It's BS. If she did know everything, okay, in my opinion, it's because she's part of everything. But she clearly said she didn't. Oh, let's go into what she knew and what she didn't know. She didn't know about the text messages, right? She didn't know that he thought someone was going to kill him. Remember? No, there is none. That does not exist. There is no such messages. Candace like, receipts. She goes, oh, no. Okay, I mean, those ones. Why didn't you just say the ones on the WhatsApp or on the messaging app? Those ones exist. I mean, I thought you were only talking about text messages. That's all I looked through. I got his phone. I opened it up and I was like, I want to think and look into everything, but I'm only going to look at text messages. Right. Shift the goalpost every time. Okay. Every time they're caught in a lie, they shift it. And I mean, they just keep lying. And that's the problem with lies. Lies have to be covered up with more lies. But why would a wife and a widow be lying about anything? Any takers? Maybe part of something, part of planning, part of executing this plan and covering it up. Yeah, I say so. I do say so.
You can tell the bits of the two of them, and showing like the clips that you guys have released show, first of all, their immense, intense love story, which has been so uplifting to everybody who's ever felt love or wanted to in their lives.
Did you guys know anything about their love story before the assassination? It's like they had all of these clips ready to go. It's like somebody went to Korea and Japan with them with a camera to film footage so that they could use it as propaganda to display their love for one another. And I don't doubt Charlie loved her. Maybe until the last couple months, maybe the last 6 months. I mean, hopefully Barron and Candace finally come out and they tell us more about when this demise of their marriage started to happen, this downfall, this deteriorating, relationship. Why a priest came over to pray over their marriage. When did this all start happening? Why did he take off his ring? Why didn't he kiss her goodbye? Why didn't he wake her up and hug her and say, I love you? Why did he shower, leave everything on the ground, and leave without saying anything? She's the one that said that. They didn't kiss goodbye. They didn't say goodbye. She had to text him. Those are her words on multiple different interviews. I mean, I could think of a reason. If they got in a big fight the night before, after that forced Zoom call, after the 3 days that he had experienced with all the hate, them trying to force their will on him. And he says, I'm done, man. I have to leave the pro Philly cause. I'm out. Oh, we got to have an emergency meeting. Didn't go quite well. They didn't quite get the outcome they wanted. They tapped the shoulder of Erika. Your turn. A fight ensues. I mean, that's the only real reason I could see Gigi waking up. Why his adrenal glands were firing or he was under such stress because of everything else that already preceded that night. But then when you find out, again, maybe everything was already deteriorating, but maybe he held out hope that the priest praying over their marriage, that there was still a chance that their marriage could be saved. But whatever was said and done in that last day, in that last night, I think was very clear for him that it probably wasn't salvageable. Why else would he leave knowing that he had these threats, these fears that they would kill him, and he would leave without saying goodbye to his wife and kissing her goodbye? That strikes me as odd. That strikes me as very, very odd. All right. We're gonna move topics here onto the next. Okay. I want to show you guys something. So you guys know Gary, Paramount Tactical, right? Well, he said something very okay. So also, I wonder what he did for his live tonight, because what they've been doing every time Candace is live, they've been doing a live watch party where they watch her live and then they have people on and then they just make fun of her and make fun of us and say a lot of nasty things about them and us live. And they were planning on doing that tonight, and they like gloated about it on this afternoon. Blake Bednards was there, which was cool. I was watching it too. Trigger Smart was there. They were trolling us so hard because he misrepresents John Bray's exploding mic theory. He misrepresents Blake Bednards' position on different things. It's just disgusting. Like they discount everything we're saying because they totally straw man it. They make a version of our argument that's not our argument. That's not what we're saying. And then they try to dismantle that, or they think they do. And then they're like, see how stupid this is and how stupid they are. Well, no, not if you actually knew what we believed or actually did a good job trying to represent what we actually believe, what our true argument is. But anyway, he says something pretty telling in here. Okay. And I'm going to play another clip of Jesse next because it is very telling on this united front from a few content creators, Valhalla, Jesse, and clearly Gary, who's definitely anti-Candace and Barron, definitely anti who really killed Charlie. And he seems to align himself hook with Jesse, which is weird, kind of is telling to me. Let's see.
Second image. This video from Jesse on Fire shows clearly what happened. The energy transfer is from front to back, with a huge deformation of the neck right where the necklace rests, propelling the free hanging portion upward. This creates and explains the t-shirt movement and ultimately breaks the necklace. It happens in milliseconds, and the acceleration forces involved are profound. The direct front-to-back energy transfer, obvious in multiple video angles, also eliminates the possibility of a projectile originating from a wireless mic pack attached to the right side of the body. The lack of burn marks and damage to the thin t-shirt or obvious signs of an omnidirectional explosion rules out the mic exploding.
No, it doesn't. I'll just tell you guys that now, but I'll go into detail in a second.
I went on to say, further analysis of your post indicates you have jumped from one conspiracy to the next and will not accept any evidence-based explanation. She was basically saying you guys are desperate to debunk all of these things. When in reality, when you see these people that are promoting these things, they've moved from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next.
No. And one of the things that we can go back at another time and look at what Gary said initially, being a ballistic expert and a former, I don't know, Green Beret or something like that. He was in the military. But he came out initially and was like, there's no way it was a 30-06. There's no way, guys. There's no way. And I don't know, maybe once he got on the payroll, in my opinion, just an opinion, when he started, a character assassinating Mitch Snow and full on making his whole show about attacking Candace, just suddenly switched. Now it's a lone gunman. Totally 30-06, totally explainable. Yeah. Let's see what he says. And then I'll go into.
And these are the same people that are pushing the palm guns, the tunnels.
Nope, none of us are pushing a palm gun. None of us are pushing the tunnels. Initially, in the very early days, we were all speculating because we all have eyes. We see the shirt move. We heard the explosion, and then we don't see anything. And then we see a wound on the left side of the neck that's not very consistent with a 30-06. There's no exit wound. The blood doesn't start coming out right away. There's a delay. And then when the blood does come out, the blood looks different. And there's a piece of black plastic that comes out. Okay. And we were just trying to figure this out. But once, as more time went on and Candace and Barron and others started putting forth real theories, John Bray came out, we started honing in on an electrocution theory and an exploding mic theory. Okay. And you're discounting our version. Like, you obviously don't watch John Bray's full videos, and he just did a follow-up. You need to go watch it, Gary. What you just said is our position is not our position, and you didn't discount anything. And I think you need to take up Blake Bednard's on his challenge to you. Why don't you show us the videos, dude? Why don't you look at it? You're going to run that, what is it, 200 or 26 miles in a Speedo? Come on.
They won't accept anything that we have evidence for.
So right there, you guys see the shirt moving? You don't have evidence for anything, Gary. What are you talking about, we? You got a mouse in your pocket? Who's we? You, TPUSA, the prosecution, the feds? Who is we? You and who else are on this side? What side? We. That's bizarre. The shirt is moving. Charlie's body isn't moving yet, okay? The shirt puffs out first. Okay. Why? There's no exit wound. And actually, his body doesn't jolt back yet. Okay. Because this is a split second right after the first explosion that John Bray explains. But because the mic was put on crooked, so that's why it doesn't do what it was intended to do. And everything else that day ended up being just a freak accident. Okay. And he's even said it's going to be very hard for him to replicate the shard shooting across and hitting him in the neck because it was such a freak accident, and you can't really control the outcome of the shrapnel. And they really didn't think that would happen. Out of all the times they tested it, probably at Fort Huachuca, this never happened. But whoever put the mic on that day, or if it was bothering him and Charlie just moved it a little, that's why it was crooked and off. But the first explosion separates the mic from the body. That's why we see the puff in the back. Okay. And then the shape charge explosion shoots it across, and the piece of shrapnel catches him in the neck. But while those two explosions are going off, the necklace, the force is being acted upon the necklace, shoving it down, okay, until it can't go any further, and it snaps. But it doesn't snap at the clasp. It snaps in the middle. Why would it do that? If it was an expansion from cavitation, which, by the way, his necklace is so long, it goes down by his belly button. He had a cross and he had a St. Michael pendant on it, okay? But the actual circumference of the necklace, Charlie's a big dude. He's bigger than me. I'm 6 foot. He was 6'5", but it stretched all the way down to below his sternum, above his belly button, right down below. No cavitation. You're saying that his neck stretched that big to snap? Why didn't we see it? Oh, it happened so fast, guys. It happened so fast, none of us can see it. That's why. And yeah, it's just insane. But anyways, and it didn't snap at the clasp, it snapped in the middle. But guess what? The cross was hanging on at the bottom. So the St. Michael pendant and the top of the necklace flies up over his head. And then as it pulls, the cross gets stuck in the back of the shirt and hangs there. And I've said it before, that's what is hanging out of his shirt when they're carrying him to the car. Okay. It's not what Jesse's saying. It's some, Hollywood tube that mimicked what we saw that day. It's nonsense.
And they default to the implausible and the absurd every single time. And part of this is the psychology that we have of people that want to believe these conspiracy theories.
So before his body moves at all, the shirt expands. That shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen with a bullet of any kind. The shirt shouldn't move, especially because there's no exit wound. Okay. But this is before his body even moves. Why is the shirt moving? And of course, I know that he can't show the other image, the other view of this video on here because of what it shows. I guess they could have blurred out the wound and then the blood. But what you would see from the front, and John Bray points this out, and you can go and Blake points this out on X. We didn't really know that the back puffed out first. None of us saw that initially. So one's like a 30 frame per second camera. The other's like a 60. And they must have been firing opposite of one another because one catches it. The 30 frame catches the back of the shirt, but the 60 frame doesn't. Anyways, so the back of the shirt moves first. Okay. And I think my opinion and John's is when that's the first explosion to separate the mic from the body. Okay. And then the shape charge goes off. But that's when the force is being acted on the necklace. But what you see in the front is that on Charlie's left side, the shirt moves like this, completely up over his neck. And that's when John's theory is that the back part of the back part of the mic is bigger than what you see on the front part of Charlie's shirt. That's the part that's moving across underneath and lifting the shirt up. Okay. And that's the part where the shrapnel catches this meaty part of his neck. And that's why you don't see blood spurt like you would. And he does a better job talking about the muscle and why the muscle lays the way it does with the carotid and the jugular because Charlie's hands are down like this. Go watch Trigger Smarts and John Bray's most recent episode follow up on the mic theory. Super smart guy. But that's why you don't see like the type of spurting blood that you would see if it was a bullet and hit which one I don't remember. I'd have to go back and refresh myself on that. But he does a good job. Anyways, there's a delay, right? You see the wound, and it's a weirdly shaped wound. It's not like a bullet wound, which is supposed to be small. The entry wound is small, but the exit wound would be massive. 30-06 would have done so much damage, you guys. We all would have seen it. Anyway, there's a delay. No blood comes out. It's like a second or two delay. In my opinion, and John's as well, there is blockage. There's that piece of plastic that caused the wound is there until enough blood pressure, the blood building up behind it pushes it out. And that's when you see this black piece and it has right angles on it fall out ahead of the blood. Okay, I think what he's about to say is what I just don't want him to play too much of this video. It doesn't show anything, but where does he say? Man, I really want you to hear what he says. All right. This is his. It's on YouTube. It can't be. Oh, he's playing X, but he's playing it on YouTube. Let's see.
It's too simple. Like it has to be this big grand thing. It can't be just this gay, furry loving guy up on a roof with his grandfather's.
Well, first of all, that's not simple whatsoever. And none of it makes sense. I've gone over when we were doing the timeline. Grandfather's, oh my gosh. If I go into all that again, you guys, we're going to be here for a while. Go watch my second episode of the timeline part 2. But the whole story with Tyler and the gun and the parents and the videos and the footage, and it's all a lie. None of it adds up. It's just it's BS. No one turned him in. They didn't see the photo of the gun because that's not his grandfather's gun. The black photo of the black gun. Parents didn't see the photo of that kid walking in the stairwell and go like, "That's my son." Doesn't look like Tyler at all. It's just all nonsense.
Rifle. It has to be this conspiracy that involves, I don't know, the French Foreign Legion, Israel, people in maroon shirts, Fort Huachuca, and the rest of it. As a matter of fact, Stu Peters, there was a video that I posted the other day. He's now saying the reason that Erika Kirk was at Fort Huachuca because she was there helping test this weaponized wireless microphone. And it's after.
And I don't know what he's quoting about Stu. I don't know if Stu actually claimed that. I like Stu Peters, but I can do that in my other spare time and find out if he's misrepresenting everything like he always does. But I mean, the point of this is he uses Jesse's video, and man, I want to get to the part where he says what he says about Jesse.
Absolutely ridiculous. So let's just take a look at this video.
Oh man,
And I'm probably going to get crushed.
No, we're not going to do this. All right. All right. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hold on. All right, can you guys hear me? That is crazy. Why did it do that? Man, I probably shouldn't have tried to do that. Charlie Kirk bombshell. All right. It didn't show anything. Nothing was graphic. Man, I really wanted to hear the part where he says the thing about Jesse. But anyways, I guess I can surmise it. Man, it seems like them and Jesse and Valhalla and Gary, they're all on the same side, and their whole goal is to do what Jesse's about to say right now. All right.
Pure hypothesis, but one of the things that Barron had brought up is the fact that he thinks that if I was right, then it's too evil to put Tyler Robinson into a cell if he hadn't done this. Now,
that's also misrepresenting what Barron said. That's just one of the points that Barron made. Okay. But the overall point is that Charlie's character, who Charlie was, he would never do this. That's the main point. But that a side point was that because of his character, he wouldn't be doing all of this, but he also wouldn't allow, an innocent man to be put to death for a faked assassination.
This is an important point to make, actually, real quick. I have operated under the assumption that there is no possible scenario where all of the people at TPUSA would murder Charlie Kirk. That has been my baseline. I've never moved from that. And prior to my current hypothesis, I was very much convinced that it was leftists.
Yeah. So the two stances you've taken so far is the official FedSlop narrative, okay, crazy leftists, or Charlie faked his death because his wife and everyone at TPUSA is just, they could never do anything like this to hurt Charlie. So then why would Candace think that? Why does Barron think that? You're just smarter than all of us? Why do I think that? Why does everyone in this chat think that? Why does millions of people that tune into Barron and Candace's show all think that? Because we're all watching the same thing, man. I don't know what you're watching, or you're getting paid to look the other way or say something else. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, you're aligned with Gary. He's showing your stuff and saying, Jesse, he could have used any footage. There's lots of people's footage out there. Okay. Oh, that's what he says. So Gary goes on to say, Jesse's now putting forth that he believes Charlie Kirk is alive. And Gary goes, I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm okay with that. We know you are, because it detracts from our focus on TPUSA and Erika Kirk and everyone that actually possibly most likely had something to do with this assassination and the cover up. Okay. The fact that you say that is crazy. You're okay with him distracting and leading lots of people astray with this bogus theory, casting shade and accusing Charlie of having suspect motives and ethics and principles. You're okay with that, as long as it, exonerates Erika Kirk and TPUSA. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Got it. Now we'll move on to here. I didn't know if you guys have seen this. Let's see if you guys have seen this. This just came out a couple days ago, but take a listen to this.
The day after Charlie Kirk was murdered, Fox 13 investigative reporter Nate Carlisle filed this records request with Utah Valley University. All it says is, I request a copy of any security plan for the Charlie Kirk or Turning Point USA event on campus on September 10th, 2025. What we got back was a no from Utah Valley University, citing several Utah codes, arguing the security plan is a protected record. We appealed that petition and started the process to go before the state's new government records office. That's all pretty typical for public records requests, but then we got another letter. This one noteworthy. It was a letter from Tyler Robinson and his attorneys in support to deny the release of the security plan. In its 12 pages, it also lays out several legal arguments to why our request should be denied, also arguing the plan is protected and that its release could taint Robinson's trial. On Thursday, February 19th, we'll go before the judge and continue to appeal for those Utah Valley University records, arguing that there's a high public interest in disclosing the security plan and insufficient justification not to. But for now, ultimately, it's the students who will.
That is bizarre. Do you guys really think Tyler Robinson? So he's not the one that forms those letters. He's under the advice of counsel. He's going to appeal and he's going to, goodness gracious, my brain tonight. It's like words are on the tip of my tongue and I just can't get them. He's going to defer to their knowledge and experience. Okay. And so if they say for whatever lawyer reason, we can't have this come out. And I don't know why they would be. But also what I think Fox is trying to do with this is a couple things. They want to act independent. They want to act like they're not fake news, like they're really looking for the truth. But they also want to show that Tyler is trying to withhold evidence about the security footage or the security team plan at UVU, and that somehow by releasing this information, it would point to him. Okay. So now we're all inferring there's something out there that Tyler doesn't want us to see and his defense doesn't want us to see, that actually, if it comes out, would point to his guilt, possible guilt. It could actually ruin his chance at a fair trial. Okay. Right. Not buying it, Fox. Not buying it at all. All right. Let's move on to the next. Oh, this will be fun. I found this. Not this guy, don't worry. You'll see in a second. Like I said, it's not as juicy and tantalizing as all the other ones I found of her because they've figured it out, guys. They tried to shove her down our, face and force our acceptance of her until public opinion spoke loudly and unanimously. We're not buying it. She looks really bad. This looks really bad. What the heck are you guys doing? They're like pulling her out of the public eye. I think the last time she was seen publicly was that Chicago, Illinois thing, where now it comes out she looks inebriated or under the influence of maybe benzodiazepines. I don't know. It's just my opinion. But they have completely taken her out of the public light. In fact, she supposedly at this Make Heaven Crowded tour, I watched, you guys, it was painful. 4 hours. She's not there. And they don't really say anything good. Not worth it. And then we know that, like Barron reported on tonight, those 365 Bible Q&As, if she's going to be present, it's private. So invite only, paid customers, or I don't know how you get to watch it. But yeah, they've completely taken her out of the public light, which is crazy. But I found this. So we'll watch it. Let's look at some of the things she says. It's not as great as anything else, but let's just watch, because this was yesterday.
Free speech allowed Charlie to learn from students and build on his
And it's possible it was pre-recorded. Okay. Maybe she pulled an Andrew Colvett.
ideas, because you could see the evolution over time where Charlie, towards the end, he would put the microphone down so he could actually truly not just hear, but listen what these students were.
Okay, and I apologize. I don't know why the audio and the video's raspy and a little sketchy. That's not on my end. That's on this video's end. I don't know why it's like that. That's a talking point that they've repeated ad nauseum, is that, and it's true, like Charlie did develop over the years, and he developed certain tactics to show that he was really there, willing to have an open discourse with the students on the other end of the mic. And one of the things he would do is not be in a rush to cut them off or to rebuttal what things that they're saying. When they would speak, he would set down the mic. Yeah, that's true. But I don't know why they just have all these things that they just repeat over and over again. To me, that's just another part of their psyop.
We're saying, and engage with them, because campuses are cultural incubators. And if speech is restricted there, opponents from all angles can shape the future. But free speech really strengthens ideas, where the best ideas always rise to the top and can only occur through open dialogue and debate. And Charlie knew that. And
Okay, what about Candace? What about Barron? What about the free speech of opposing a foreign government being involved in our politics, spying on us, surveilling us, pulling us into a massive war with Iran? Are we not allowed free speech? No, stop. That's it. Stop. We're not allowed to ask questions. We're not allowed to point things out. We're not allowed to speak. We can't even say certain words, certain names, certain places, certain people. And if we do, the ADL will come a knocking. The feds are going to come a knocking. What did you say online? What's that you said? Oh.
loved being able to pour into these students, because they weren't just students to him. They were souls that he was trying to encourage and save. And he just knew that universities all over the country, so many people told him, like, you don't have to go there. Why are you going there? Why are you debating with these students? I know one time he said, these students, they're also voters. And because people were saying, why would you go and talk to people young?
I don't know. Okay, I was thinking about this when I was watching this. I don't know. I can't remember if I was saying this to my wife or not. Why does she smile the way that she smiles at like the weirdest moments? Like, because they weren't just students, they were voters. I mean, I don't know why you're smiling over that. I mean, I don't know. It's bizarre. They need to turn her mic down. Every time she swallows, I can hear it, and it bothers me. I have a thing about that. It does.
Younger than you. But he knew how important the youth was and still is. And he also knew, once he became a father, that Gen Alpha, that our babies are a part of, are now up and coming in the ranks. And he wanted to be able to show them that it's okay to love Jesus. It's okay to love your country. It's okay to...
Is it okay to love your country more than Philly? Is it okay to demand that we put our country before Philly? So that's not okay. Okay.
Stand for what you believe in. It's okay to use your voice and your freedom of speech. Because if you don't, and you don't understand the importance of being able to exercise your right to vote, you're just going to resort to violence. And that's no way that a nation should live. But free speech was foundational to Charlie's mission. And it still is for us to this day. But TPUSA was... built on the idea that students deserve open debate and open dialogue. And I just am so grateful to all of you at Real Clear Politics for just all of your support. And I know this is your 25th anniversary. And I want to encourage you guys to keep being a voice of reason and truth. There's a massive void out there now that my husband is not with us. But I am just praying for people to rise up, to remain true to the mission and speak truth and be a beacon for healing because it is so easy to tear things down. It is so easy to destroy things. It's very hard to build things.
But you can build, like Nehemiah. Build, build, build. I'm too busy building. I don't got time to answer your questions. I don't have time to prove that I didn't do anything. I'm building. We're building. That's another theme, little talking point. We're building. We're just building. We're building. Actually, I think all the building was already done. I think Charlie had done all the building. I think you're doing something else. Not building. That's just my opinion. That's what we got for tonight. Let's hang out, guys. All right. If you guys have some super chats, you got some questions, you got some comments, let's throw it in. Okay. And I'll be more than happy to read it. And then I'll make sure to do another poll, because guess what? Last night it tied. It was the Blackliners, 44%, and the Blackline crew was 44%. And then what was the middle one? It was like the Black Briefers or the Briefers. Someone said it sounded like boxers. That was 13%. So we got a tie. So we have to settle this. So I'll put that in let's put that in right now. Let's do the poll. Let me write it up for a second, okay? All right. The poll is in. Okay. By the way, I love you guys. We got 193 people here. Steady. So good. Concurrent viewers, 193. You guys are awesome. Let's see. Let me get to a super. Okay, the first one we got is American Lynn 1. Should poll group name during a member-only live. Oh. We can do that too, for sure. Let's see what this poll does, and I'll take your guys' input, and then if we're happy with it, we go with it. If not, then we'll do it on the next member live. Okay, and And next, we got Mystic Gypsy, the one, the only, the amazing. Thank you for the super sticker. Okay, and then we got Mystic gifted 5 Blackline Brief memberships. Thank you, Mystic. You're tremendous. All right, let's see. And so myself and a few others, they can let me know if they want to be named. But we're working on other things. I don't know if any of you guys follow like West Texas is the Best Texas and Kellyanne, Blake Bednards. They're going back and looking at a lot of footage from the day at UVU and like looking in the crowd. And I'm trying to get a hold of not the school security cams. That footage is garbage. It's grainy, it's pixelated. A lot of the individuals in the crowd, and then there was a lot of press there that day that had very, very high quality HD cameras. And I want to do some investigating with you guys on lives. Baron did something like that with his Nearmap app or subscription. And we looked into that. That one's very, very expensive. With his show, like him and Candace can totally afford that. I can't. But we're going to look at other more affordable means to do something similar, which would allow us to use like either, I don't know, it must be satellite imagery. And we could put in certain dates and times of like anywhere, maybe just in the US. I don't know if it's also around the world, but for sure in the US. We could look up certain places before September 10th, on September 10th, and then after, when we know, like one of the things I'd love to look at is when we know that Brian Harple, Rick Cutler, Butch Hibbs, and someone else, they went to Montana in Bozeman or something like that. They all, like a month or two after, were all up in Montana, like camping, but no, not together, supposedly. Okay. But we can like look at different things and like see what people are doing. Are they where they said they are, what they're supposed to be? And so that's exciting. We'll have that coming. But also, once I get a hold of some of the higher quality video footage and camera footage, which one of my helpers already gathered quite a bit of it, but I need to go through a lot of it first before I just pull it up on a live and make sure that like we have stuff to look at and to investigate together. Because that is the whole point of this as well. And I do want to do investigating. I don't have the time to do a lot of it ahead of time yet. Like I said, I get off at 6 p.m. and then I rush home. I don't eat. I don't shower. I come up and get ready and then do the show. And throughout the day on my spare time, I try to find things that we're going to cover. But a lot of times I'm having to work down multiple angles of different possibilities and see what I can do with what I find. And so hopefully you guys understand that also one of the things that I'm doing here is breaking down videos and giving my opinion is kind of what I'm doing on a lot of things. That's kind of how this channel grew. Was I really believe that from what I've read in the comments, it's like me saying what I'm thinking and feeling resonates with so many of you, and that so many of your comments have said it feels so good to see someone saying what you're thinking, right? And that we're not crazy. And so other people that leave comments that are like, why does this guy have to talk so much? And he pauses the video and interrupts so much. And first of all, I delete those because you know what? I'm not going to let you try to get someone that hasn't seen my video to listen to your little hateful comment. Also, you don't really know the format of YouTube. You can't just play other people's videos full form with not doing anything to them. But furthermore, the whole point of what I'm doing is commenting on what I see, what I think, what I believe, what I feel. And it seems that the majority of people that watch this show, that subscribe and are members and tune in for lives, that's what they've all liked. So I'm going to do that because that's me doing me. I'm not going to try to be Baron or Candace or Ian or anyone else or Coach or Jesse or anyone. I'm going to do me, and that's it. I'm going to be true to me the whole time. And so either people like it or they don't. If you don't like it, guess what? The internet is optional. No one's forcing you to sit down and watch my stuff. And if you want to watch an interview or something in its full format, you can subscribe and go find it. You obviously can't find it. It's pretty hard to find some of these things. You know, it takes time to hunt them down or pay for a subscription to Fox Nation in order to get that one interview of Erika Kirks that nobody saw. Yeah, because you got to pay like $10-12 to Fox Nation for that one video because they don't really have anything else that is good. But you know what I mean? So, yeah. All right. I keep hearing 2 Live Crew in my head and love it. Blackline Crew. I like Blackline Crew too. Oh, let me go back to the poll. Let me see what the numbers are at. As of right now, 60%, the Blackliners is 60%, and Blackline Crew is 40%. Okay. And like I said, though, I can at the next member live, right? Because I don't know how many people are here today that are like consistent members, but definitely people that are consistent community members should have a big say in what the name of this community is over people that maybe aren't here for the long haul. But if you are, you definitely have a say. I'm not saying. The other day it was 44-44. It was a dead tie. And so, yeah, I can also throw it into the member live and see how you guys all feel about which one. Because once we pick it, it's gonna that's gonna be it. I'm not gonna pick it and then change it and pick it and change it. You know what I mean? Like once we decide, that is our community name. Okay. And I'm thinking that I will change the name of the member tier levels. It makes you pick a name when you're setting it up. And I was like sitting there, I was like, I have to pick. I don't know. I was like thinking of different ones. I was like, that sounds stupid. I don't know. I didn't love anything. So I went with the 3 branches of government for now. But definitely the executive team members, right? The executive branch, we can make that whatever one that we decide. And then like member 2 could be the runner up and number 3 can be something else. And we could think about it. But all right, let me read some of your guys' comments. All right, 2016, I went hard for Trump and convinced a lot of my immediate surrounding community to consider him, if not vote for him. Main reason, because I felt a spur. Or did that cut you out, Melissa? Let's see. Do you have another one further down? I don't see it, but I mean, I don't want anyone to misinterpret anything I've said in this show. From a lot of my early stuff where I do go hard at Trump. But I voted for him in 16, voted for him in 24 and in 20. And I was for sure pro-Trump, man. Total MAGA. But I would have to say this presidency, I'm just not sold on him at all. He seems to have foreign governments' interests above ours. He seems to be paid off by a foreign government. Doesn't really want transparency. You know, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, and him. You know, Einstein, who? Are we still talking about it? Redacted. Oh, it's such a shame. Bill Clinton's in the photos. I mean, it's just so horrendous. Yeah. And then you look at how he responded when they asked him like about how he was doing after Charlie Kirk's assassination. He's like, look at the new wing. Look at the new ballroom, guys. I mean, it bums me out, but I'm just being honest, man. I'm not sold on him anymore. I don't know what he is anymore. He doesn't seem America first. He doesn't seem make America great anymore. And it's a super letdown, super big letdown. All right. Next we got same, but I didn't want to say, yeah, absolutely. Wait, so we're not gonna make up random scriptures like Psalm. Yeah. It was Proverbs 68:5. No, we're not making up fake scriptures. Blackline Crew, high IQ. Ooh, I like that. That's a lot of words, but I like that's like a slogan. But I also don't want to steal anything from Barron. Love Barron. He's got the whole, this is a high IQ outfit. He's coined that. That's him. I mean, one of my favorite like little shorts of him is him lighting Joe up. I mean, loved that. Loved it. You know? Yeah, there's going to be trolls. There's going to be infiltrators in our chat. Whatever. Bye. Let's see. The consistent ones want Blackline Crew. I hear you. I think so. I got you. Matt, your channel is growing. Yes, it is, Angela. Let's take a look at the numbers. Which to me, the numbers only really reflect one thing. So we're at 6,605. All right. Which is amazing. Okay. And the members have grown as well. A lot thanks to Mystic Gypsy. But also a lot of you subscribed on your own. But I mean, Mystic's amazing. She's gifted a lot of memberships to people, which is so sweet. And hopefully that gets people in the door and then they like what they see and they stay. That's my hope. But to me, the number, at least for my show, I think that it's a reflection because of what I'm not doing what like other people are doing. Not Candace and Baron. What I'm about to say, I'm not talking about with them at all. I'm talking about like other individuals out there that they cover things in my opinion that are clickbaity. But and so people join a lot of those channels because they're entertained or they want to see what the person's going to say that day. That's not what I'm doing here. And so to me, the number is just a reflection of whether or not what I'm doing resonates with people. So, and the fact that it, let's see, I can read something. I'll let it remain anonymous. But this is from someone we all know, but I will not say who. Let me get to the part. Let's see where. Okay, what I will tell you is this. What you're building is genuinely impressive. 6,000 subscribers in, a few weeks. It's been like 4 weeks. Up to like 91 paid members the last time I looked. 1,000 a week growth, which we have been doing consistently. This last week, it slowed down a bit. All while working 60 hours, training jujitsu, and being a husband and father. Most creators would kill for those numbers with zero obligations. You've clearly found something that resonates. That's not luck. That's you. Nothing is off the table. Oh, this is him responding to a question I had for him. He says, life has a way of bringing the right people together at the right time. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm watching, I'm supporting from my side, and I'm genuinely rooting for you. So I would say we are all doing something good. Okay. And it's a private email, so I'm not going to say who it is, but I thought it was important to, that meant a lot to me. And I wanted to encourage all of you that we're all doing something together here. That's really cool. So let's see. Let me scroll down a little bit. Oh, we got, Bree, Blackline Crew. Okay. Heard. I got you. It's not about blue or red anymore. I agree with that. It's about right and wrong. And the crazy people that are running the show, getting them out of here. Yep, no left versus right. I agree. It's good versus evil. That's what I just said, Julia Pierce. That's what I just said, right? And I would say most of us civilians and common, citizens, we're on the good side. We all have families. We all work jobs. We have kids. And it's the ones up top running the show, pulling the strings that, in my opinion, are on the evil side of that equation. They're all demonic creatures. I sadly agree that it seems so. We are the Blackline Crew. I like it, Crystal. I think it's unanimous. 100. Okay. Politics, is the devil's playground. 100%. It's sadly but true. Let's see. Seeking discernment. I like that. Let's see. I'm debating whether I ever want to vote again. Yeah, I know. But like I don't know, man, that could be one of their tactics. That could be one of the things that they're wanting to achieve with this, because like we all turned out a lot to vote and then we swung that way. And a lot of times what I've noticed is that like, because there is a uniparty elite that's got both parties under control, they swing us one way because only certain bills and legislation will be passed under Republicans being in the White House and controlling the House and the Senate and everything. But then the pendulum swings the other way, and now they have them in, and then only certain things get passed when they're in control. And so it's like a way of still moving the needle in one direction. And so I would say don't become apathetic and completely tap out. Also, they typically never give us a good option. We always end up picking the lesser of two evils. And I don't know, man. I don't want to be pessimistic, but it's like, I feel like 1775. I feel like we got to start over. I don't really, I don't know, man. Can we actually affect change still and fix the system from within? Or is the stranglehold so strong, and is the perversion and the corruption so deep and so systemic? Can it be reformed? I don't know. I don't know. I don't have that answer. I battle with that because I don't want to be anarchist. I don't want that. But it's just the more and more the time goes on, it's like, oh my gosh, everyone up there's involved in this. Like, what are we doing? No one's got our back. It's crazy. I might be the only one that voted for, I don't know who Corny is. None of what is happening is anything I voted for. I agree with that, Glenn Coco. So sad. I'm with Candace. Voting for anyone, not voting for anyone until CKA case is solved. Yeah. Everyone's got to make a decision based on what is right for them and their conscience and what they feel God's moving them to do or not to do. We still got 3 years to figure out what's really going on. Definitely not voting for any of the main ones, that's for sure. And I'm not turning out to vote for whoever they, shove in front of us. I'm not voting for Vance, I'll say that much. Definitely not voting for Erika Kirk Vance ticket that Frank Turek and Rob McCoy and Mikey McCoy said on their show just weeks after the assassination. Insane. So, all right, let me scroll down to the bottom. Let's see. But look at the 401ks and the NASDAQ and the Dow. It's just so good. Everything's so good. So, yeah, the Dow. The energy y'all need is Mel Gibson in The Patriot. I agree with that. I grew up with Mel. I liked him a lot. I still do. I just miss the movies he used to make like that, like Braveheart, Mel Gibson, Yeah. Yeah, not voting for Erika Kirk, Glenn. No. And I'm not voting for JD either. He's the Palantir ticket. TPUSA said that they were going to put Erika Kirk in for the ticket. Yes, they did. I just said that, right? Yeah. Frank Turek, Rob McCoy, Mikey McCoy, just like a week or so after, said that I'm not giving up on the Kirk Vance ticket because I guess it was supposed to be Charlie Kirk and Vance in 28. But they're saying they're not giving up, that Erika would make a great president. It's weird that he said Erika would make a great president. He didn't say vice. So in their eyes, they want Erika to be president and JD to be vice again. I wonder what he has to say about that. Yeah, MTG. Yeah. Let's see. Freedom. The Patriot is fire. I know. Poor Heath Ledger. I liked him a lot too. I was sad what happened to him. Erika, what a joke. Freedom, the craziest thing. Yep. I wrote in Jesus, or you vote in Jesus, or you wrote in Jesus in like the ballot. It's actually sad. Blake looks like he knows and is shameful and doesn't know what to do and can only look down like a sad, shameful. Yeah, I do find that out of all, or he's acting really bad. I don't know. But out of all the times, like they're all on that show together and he's like the only one that like really doesn't break character and like laugh and giggle and like look joyful in any way. Like he's very somber. He's like constantly looking down and like his scowl face and he's like sad. I haven't figured out yet, like, is that him because it's like guilt and shame and the weight of it all? Or is he just acting and that's just him acting? They're all really bad at it. So it's nuts, Let's see. I'm behind. My internet sucks. True Pluton. Yeah. I don't know why. Like my internet was fine. And then all of a sudden I started playing. What was it that I was playing at the time? Oh, the Charlie Kirk thing. Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't mess anything up. Okay. To be fair, Erika Kirk as president. Wait, to be fair, Erika Kirk as president, I'm sure our enemy nations would be terrified of her eyes. Yeah, but if like Erika Kirk for president, they would know that's Philly's puppet, like for sure. That's Philly's Manchurian candidate. They'd be like, oh my gosh, we're done. I mean, more so than they already do, you know, like we're just this like papal state of Philly, you know, makes holidays easier too. It's really offensive how stupid they think we are. I agree with that. Israel. Yeah. Oh, Glenn, I don't know if you were here for the opening, but I was like, you know, I said I wasn't going to, God, I'm so hungry and tired. My brain's not working. I'm not going to censor my speech. Oh my gosh, there it is. I figured the word that I was thinking of for the last hour and a half. I'm not going to censor my own speech for them. And so I was saying words in the last 2 episodes that I hadn't said previously. And the last 2 episodes, some of my worst numbers since like I very first started. And I was like, those videos weren't that bad. And I was like, okay, let's play the game and see what happens. And if this video ends up doing just like all the rest, but I didn't say those words, I think we have our answer. And I think we know that they are watching and they are listening, and they limit your reach, and the algorithm dings you if you say certain things. I think on a channel my size, they can do that. They can get away with it. They can't do that on like Candace, Baron, Ian, because their audiences are so big and so many people are watching live that if they did do that to their videos, it would be so obvious and the backlash would be so bad. So I don't know. We'll see. Anyone else got anything left to say one last time before I sign off? It's 9 o'clock here, my time. I still need to go eat dinner and shower and go to bed and get up and do it all over again. But I love you guys so much. You guys are honestly one of the best things about doing this. Really, the community's really cool. You guys are all really amazing. Give a shout out to the mods, Jim Bear, Mystic Gypsy, and Bree Baby X for all their hard work. They're all their support. Please make sure to like and subscribe. It is the best way you can support and help this channel. Okay. And stay tuned. I'm so sorry that my thumbnail didn't get out till so late. Today was crazy. Work was crazy. I didn't have time to do it. So I got here as soon as I could and got it all up. Thank you, Bree. I will go eat. You guys do what you got to do as well. Thank you guys. God bless you guys. Have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.